David is probably one of the most unique people I've ever met in my entire life. There really isn't a lot of words that you can use to describe David, partly because there aren't enough words in the English language for that. But I sat down for a few hours and I tried to think how I can really describe David's friendship to me in a way that really encompasses his personality. So this is what I came up with. David, you're the kind of friend that I want to have during a zombie apocalypse. When everybody is running to Walmart to try to get supplies and weapons, I'm going to be at your house fighting off hordes of flesh-eater zombies. And the reason why I say this about David is because I see David as someone who's absolutely prepared for anything. At least at UMKC, David is kind of known as being a human toolbox. He has these pants, and he carries absolutely any tool that you possibly need at any moment of your life. I think at one point, let's see what he was carrying. He carries like a 3-inch foldable knife, a can of mace, a sewing kit, one of those fire starting kits, and what I find to be a little bit ridiculous is 30 feet of parachute cord. Really think it's 30 feet of parachute cord? Yeah, well, at least we can all rest assured that in case we all fall off an airplane in the middle of the speech, David will have enough parachute cord for all of us to survive. Thank you for that, David. Yeah, spontaneous skydiving has always been a great fear of mine. So thank you. Another way that I know that David is prepared for anything is because David is probably one of the only people who watches as many videos on YouTube as I do, which happens to be a whole lot. And a lot of people would be surprised how educational YouTube videos can be. From watching YouTube videos alone, David and I have become experts in Krav Maga martial arts. We've become rap masters and competed in a Facebook rap battle, which personally I think I won, but that remains to be undetermined. And we've also become experts in death metal vegan cooking. And you can imagine what that might be. I also suspect that David is an expert in Justin Bieber, but he probably but either way, I know that David's vast knowledge of YouTube will make him prepared for any situation that life might throw at him, or at the least, he'll be a really good contestant on Jeopardy. So, on a more serious note, I know that David is totally ready for the responsibilities of marriage. I've seen David and how in love with Traci he is, and how he's always willing to put Traci's needs above his own. There was this one night where, right before big tests, I think Traci was having a migraine headache, and she was just feeling really bad. And David drove 3 hours in the middle of the night, mind you, it's right before big tests, just to stay with her until the next morning to make sure that David, I've always admired you for how selfless you are, and I know that if I can be even half as selfless as you are, I know I'll be doing pretty good. So, anyway, stage 2. So, David and Traci, on the theme of preparedness, I know that you guys are totally prepared for the responsibilities of marriage, and you guys are going to be awesome at it. But I prepared a little bit of a marriage toolbox to help provide you with some of the tools that you might need to help make your marriage even better than it already will be. Okay, so this first tool that I'm going to present to you is because of a problem I've noticed about David for the last couple of years. David, I'm not sure if you know this about yourself, but you're really tall. I know this may come as a shock to you, but it's true. So this really isn't a problem until David tries to give you one of his famous bone-crushing hugs. And it's possible that sometimes your face can get buried in his chest, and it makes it really difficult to breathe. And they haven't really taught us a lot of med school, but one of the things that they did stress is that breathing is really, really important. So, I really like Traci a lot, and I prefer her not to suffocate. So, this is the first tool that I got for David. It's actually a series of things that I picked up from the anesthesiology department. I got one of these cool airway masks, I think. I think there's an intubation tube in case you need to do an emergency airway. There's a nasal cannula. I think 2 to 3 LPMs per minute. You know, that's probably good. And then one of these bags, I don't really know what it's for, but if you can figure it out, it could be life-saving one day. So, you know, just good luck figuring that out. Okay, so I'll put this back in a second. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first tool. So now Traci can give hugs to David to her heart and lungs content. Alright, so this next tool that I've included in the toolbox is something special for Traci. So we all, or many of us know that David is a vegan, and his vegan cooking is usually pretty delicious. And often you can't even tell that it's vegan. But Traci and I both know, as carnivores, sometimes we start getting the meat sweats, and vegan cooking just doesn't cut it. As good as it is, it just doesn't cut it. So, on that note, I want you to be satisfied with your cooking and with the food that you're eating. So I've included a package of tofurkey. And from what I understand, it tastes pretty much like the same thing as turkey, but David will be okay with it. So good luck with that. Okay. So this last tool that I put in the toolbox is something that I call the happy wife, happy life decision wheel. Oh, would you mind just holding that for me? Okay. Okay, so the reason why I made this decision wheel was because there was this one time where we were all living in the dorms, and I made the grave mistake of walking to the room while Traci and David were having an argument, a little debate, about one of the stories of the Bible, I think. And apart from the fact that I'm Jewish, and it was something in the New Testament, I had absolutely no. You guys are too ridiculously smart for me. So, naturally, when you asked me what my opinion was to try to decide this argument, I panicked and I ran. So I don't want to be in that situation anymore. So that's why I can do this decision wheel. And as you can see, I cleverly designed it so that 99% of the time, Traci will win. Unfair to you right now, David, but I promise you, you will thank me for it later. Okay, so on that note, I'd like to make a toast to the bride and groom. David and Traci. David and Traci, words cannot describe how amazing it is to see two beautiful people making each other even more perfect than they already are. I've only attended Jewish weddings in the past, so I'm going to give you a toast in the only way I know how. Mazel tov, David and Traci.
Mazel tov.